You found it. The Safety Pays Podcast. My name is Christian Robbins. I'm with DCSHRM.com, a safety resource website that I've put together to help employees be safer and employers save money by having safe employees. Every week this year, 2021, we're going to have a weekly toolbox topic podcast, and that's what this will be. So today's topic is forklift awareness. And forklift awareness is one of those things that we run into all the time because we all have some sort of lift truck in our facilities, from just simple pallet jacks to large forklifts, warehouse forklifts, all-terrain forklifts, and even elevated work platforms, but we won't get into that for a couple of weeks. Today, really what we want to talk about is how forklifts are a necessary part of the modern workplace, and the fact that they can move just about anything. They all fall under OSHA's Powered Industrial Equipment classification with other motorized equipment in the workplace. A lot of times we spend the bulk of our time training operators, but the reality is we need to train operators, and we also need to train those that are working around forklifts, the pedestrians, so that they understand the dangers of forklifts in the environment and where they'll be operating. So forklifts have a huge potential for causing damage. In my almost 20 years of doing safety, I've had to investigate one death due to a forklift. A gentleman actually got run over by the forklift. It was an all-terrain forklift on a job site. Tragic, could have been avoided, but when circumstances cause people to not pay 100% attention in the operation, accidents will happen, no matter how safe that person might be. So 60% of forklift operators are actually injuries and deaths are sustained by the individuals that work around the forklift and not actually the operator. I've also investigated a couple of forklift rollovers where the operator was uninjured, even in one case where the operator didn't even have on a seatbelt. But the people around forklifts get injured very frequently. I've had several very difficult injuries where forklifts had actually run over people's feet or ran people into walls. And those are really what we're trying to avoid with forklift and pedestrian awareness. So really what we need to train is our pedestrians, anyone that's working in the vicinity with a forklift, is to establish eye contact with the forklift operator. They can never assume that the forklift operator knows where they're at. They have to keep a safe distance from the truck. It's one of those things that everyone goes into the warehouses or the work facilities or the job sites thinking they're pedestrians and have the right-of-way. The reality is, a lot of times those forklift operators will be concentrating so much on the load and where they're going to put it that they just don't see the pedestrians all the time. So pedestrians should always keep that safe distance. They have to pay attention and communicate with the operator. They can't make the assumption that the operator knows where they're going to go. We watch out for the tail swing when the forklift turns. Stay clear of the fall zone. That would be 360 degrees around the forklift at 2 times the height of whatever that mast is at. So if that mast is up on a 3rd tier, 4th tier, some cases even higher, we need to make sure that there's an area around there that is clear. And if pedestrians can't do that on their own, we need to develop a system that will keep them safe. If there's mirrors, teach the pedestrians and not just the operators to look in those mirrors to make sure that they know what's coming their way. I've been to a couple facilities in the last couple of years and seen pedestrians just as a forklift is raising a load, they'll hurry and scoot under the forklift as it's raising the load. This is one of the things that every safety person or manager should be training their people. Never, ever go under that load. If they see a forklift that's raising a load, have them stop and actually help stop traffic while they're doing that. Help the operator by directing pedestrian traffic away from that fall zone. The operator, only let trained and authorized people operate the forklifts. Complete the daily operator check to make sure the forklift is in safe working order. Instruct your operators always to wear their seatbelt. Immediately report any unsafe condition that develops in a forklift. Don't ever attempt to move objects outside the forklift's capacity. When leaving a forklift, make it safe. Park it out of the way. Set the brakes. Never allow riders. Use your horn to get the attention of pedestrians and other operators. A lot of facilities, you hear the horn going all the time. Pedestrians become aware of that, but they also become used to it. So always retrain your forklift operators and your pedestrians to be aware of the horn. Always look in the direction you're traveling. It's good to be aware of what's around you, but not looking in the direction you're traveling will have consequences. Keep loads and empty forks as low as possible. Know the swing radius. Keep pedestrians out of the fall zones. Always use a spotter. As a forklift operator, that's part of your responsibility. You can always tell a pedestrian or someone who's working in that area, hey, can you please wait there? Can you please help me stop people? If operators have problems with pedestrians not listening, then they need to bring that up with a supervisor. Know the blind spots in the buildings caused by the masts and doors. A lot of times, I've seen several accidents in the last 2 years where forklifts have actually run into support columns just because the operators forgot that they have those blind spots with the mast and have gone straight into those. Look at your facility's floors. If it's easier to actually put lanes on the floors, that a lot of times will help keep operators out of those danger zones and away from load-bearing columns. Before unloading a trailer, make sure operators are checking dock plates, checking the trailer, chalking the wheels, communicating with the driver. That's a good way to avoid accidents, is have that communication. Before loading a trailer, make sure if you need fixed jacks, that those are in place. Always keep your load uphill when traveling up or down ramps. Don't pass other forklifts that are moving in the same direction. Give them space to stop. Use spotters when you're moving anything large, unbalanced, awkward loads, especially if you're entering areas that would normally be off limits to forklifts. Tell your newer operators not to outdrive their abilities. Tell your older operators to slow down and to keep it in control. Injury and death always add more time to a project. Rushing with a forklift, it's one of those things that you get away with it sometimes, but not always. One of the things that I see in many of the facilities that I go into is we'll have a forklift operator that has some experience. They'll be lifting their load as they're turning in order to maximize their efficiency. 99% of the time they get away with that, but every once in a while you'll have a load that'll be closer to the limit of the forklift and will shift at the time it's lifting and take that forklift over with it. So these are really the big things as we look at forklift awareness. Next week we'll talk about forklift certification, and anybody that's subscribed to the DCSHRM.com platform, we will be sending out the forklift certification training to all of the individuals that are subscribed so that we make sure that we get those operators retrained. OSHA says every 3 years to have that training. We automatically retrain all of our operators that are subscribed once a year, just so that we can have that awareness and make sure that the operators refocus on safety and what they need to be doing as they're working in their respective facilities. So this has been Forklift Awareness. This is the weekly podcast for the Safety Toolbox topic meeting. These meetings are usually rather brief. Please let us know in the comments, or go ahead and visit the website and communicate with us there. If you have any more questions, if you'd like to talk about getting your forklift operators certified for the new year, reach out to us at info.dcshrm.com and we can help you with that. Once again, this is Christian Robbins, and remember, safety pays. Have a great day.